They're great. They cut quick. You can cut through a piece of 1-inch material very fast. Just your own hammer. All right, rounding die. I'm gonna lay it out first. Just trace these lines. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm really not the best at this. I always end up getting a double line somewhere, which I already did. Now, when you do it right, you should cut the center. It should look really pretty. You see, I didn't do it completely right. There's a little double line in there. Usually that happens when you go too far on one side than the other and you get some misalignment. You get these really nice little blobs that come off super easy. That looks like about 1/2 inch. Send it over the edge. Offset 90 degrees to each other. Now we have this blob on the end. I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna do it on this side, this upside like this. So it's basically the same offset, but the material that I previously isolated is now looking at me. And once again, I'm gonna say where the forging starts and stops. Where the forging starts and stops, once again, is where you see there's that taper from the offset. It's coming down and it becomes true back to the original bar's dimension. That's where the forging starts and stops. Forging starts and stops. So now we're going to offset it this way. Keep it planar. And now we're able to forge both sides of this. So I can come over here and forge like this. Bring it back over, forge this side. Now the trick with this is keeping everything square. It's really hard because you're forging effectively on all 4 sides at the same time. If you're like me, your material is likely not perfect 90-degree angles, which is okay. But this should be enough material. We should be able to draw this out to be across the face of this anvil. All right, here we go. So now we're going to use these rounding dies, come across. All right, flat dies, clean it up, get it back to square. Clean up all your sins, back into the fire. So you can see it's twisting on me a little bit. Got a little bit of rotation there. That's because of improper forging. We're not to the point where things are going to be difficult. We should be able to clean it up. So, I mean, we've gone from 1/2 inch to what is now 1/4 inch material pretty quickly. And that's the beauty of this taper, this offset method, what Brian Brazil calls reverse taper. I'm gonna come back out, I'm gonna start from the front side, rounding hammer. All right, now we gotta clean it up because you ain't square. Flat dies, clean it up. All right. Out of plane, plane it up. All right, so we're going to show you another technique. I'm going to use the edge of my hammer here as a cross peen. Oh, wrong direction. Really work that down. Come back, planish it up. That's right. Now we're going to go ahead and make this round because I have an idea. Believe it or not. Round this up. Get your corners. All set. Flat side. Now, make it a hexagon. The way I typically like to do this is it makes a nice transition. I want this to be about 1/4 thicker than this material. So if I take a portion of this material, divide it into 4, add that to this, because as I start to fuller it out, it's going to get thinner. But having that material, this isolated blob be about 1/4 thicker than this stem, helps when you're fullering it out and make that transition really nice. So now we got a hexagon, and you see how I was talking about that cut to center hot cut, right? How we cut to center, and it really made this nice taper on the end. I really didn't do too much. We already had that taper. I just came in and flattened these edges up, and now we have effectively a hexagon. It's not perfect, nor will it be, and you don't really need to fiddle with that too much. You want it to be close to a hexagon, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And it's okay if these come into the center a little bit, but I'm trying my best not to do that. Because next we're going to make the center of this flower, and it's really good to try and keep those lines out of it. It's not the easiest, but there's that geometry again. So getting kind of close, laid out, sort of symmetrical, kind of not. All right, it's hot. Find the approximate center. Pretty much there. I like to rotate the tool because it's about as perfect as everything else I've forged, which is not. And I usually like to bottom it out, quite frankly. Nice thing about this is the material's still relatively hot, you know, probably about 800 degrees. It'll still burn the mess out of you, but as blacksmiths we like to call that cold. So what are we doing, Laura? Lay it out cold. Makes it easy when you pull it back out hot. You feel these little divots in your material, and hopefully you can find them. because when this thing comes out and you set it on the anvil, you're like Ray Charles trying to see this damn thing. It's really hard to see. That's right. That's not centered. That's okay. That's why we're laying it out cold. We still got time to resurrect it. So effectively, we're just doing a polar array, going around trying to keep, you know, straight line across here, straight line across here, straight line across here, all the way across our circle. There's a video of Brian Brazil doing this, and he does a lot better of a job than me. I recommend watching it. All right, so we laid it out cold. You can see those divots going around the center. Next, we're going to start fullering this out, making the rest of our petals. I'm just going around, and I really try not to hit more than once in each spot, because the symmetry we can still create, even if we didn't lay this out correctly. The way we fuller this will allow us to facilitate some form of symmetry. If you're smart, and I just hit it twice, you see. If you're smart and you can remember where you started, don't start there the next time, and start on the other side, because it's going to be hottest where you first start, so that same hammer blow is going to do more work than it will across the rest of the petals. Great question, thank you. We're going to chase this out again. That chisel back out again and come back here and redefine your flower petals. Come back in here and cut in between each one. And go back over here. I see some asymmetry on this side. We can fuller these out a little bit more. And then as you get to the end, you can use the fuller half on, half off that material to kind of get an extra little push. And it kind of squeezes it out between the fuller and the anvil, and you kind of get this push out of material. It looks good. I like it. The nice thing about the ball fuller, as opposed to a ball peen, is you can pick a little more specifically where you form these edges out. It's hot. But it really elevates the flower. It gives it a lot more dimension, looks a lot nicer, and I really prefer it. And a lot of your asymmetry gets unhidden, or gets hidden again, when you give it that that kind of third dimension. It's already 3D when you started, but you know what I mean. Already screwed it up again. Now when we cut this off, I cut it off like this. What that's going to do is make this cut flat on one side. A lot flatter than it would be. Yeah, so when I was cutting it, I angled my material back. So that way that angle is effectively flat relative to this piece of material. Exactly. Just flattening this end out. Trying to at least. There we go. So it is designed to do that hot cut, just jump out of the anvil like that. Wouldn't touch that, it's hot.